Well, I'm Connie Yim. I was born in Seoul, Korea. I came to the States when I was 11, and I've been in LA all my life. And I've been teaching for 15 years at Alhambra High School, and I just got my MFA at Azusa Pacific University. And yeah, that's about it. I'm Korean. So my current artistic practice started out as doodles and random, like I was bored during lectures and class and during faculty meetings, and so I started as doodles, and more I did them, there were these similarities in the drawings. So I thought it was very interesting, so I started doing more and more. So I put them up one summer. Well, I had my sketchbooks in my car, in my class, and I just made a lot of them. So I ripped all the pages out and I put them like salon style, you know, like all over the wall, and I saw them. And when I saw them, there were these patterns in them that were undeniably similar. And they all resembled they're all organic. They resemble insects, they resembled people, distorted figures, some landscapes or flowers or fish, somewhat. They're abstract, they're hard to recognize, but they almost look like they belong to one entity. So I got very curious at where are they coming from? You know, why am I keep drawing these weird images? And so I started to look at symbolisms in the psyche and unconscious mind, and that's when I came across Carl Jung's unconscious theory of symbolism. And I realized actually the method that I use for my drawing, I start out with the ink wash, and I just start to see things. I don't sketch, and then I just make random marks, and I start to see things that I can relate to. So actually that method that I was using was a method that surrealists used to hoax out their unconscious. So actually I thought, you know, these little scribbles that I was doing during the lectures were actually a big deal, I found out. And Carl Jung had this theory of we all have unconscious, and most people only relate to their unconscious through their dreams. But as an artist, we can have a dialogue with our unconscious, which that's what I'm doing with my work. So some of the images I don't understand. They resemble fish, and I don't even like fish. And some of them are dark. So people say, and my students would say, wow, Miss Yim, like I had no idea you're like that. Like, what do you mean like that? Like, I know some of my images don't represent what I appear to be on the outside, but I realize it is me. It's different aspects of me. And Carl Jung has a theory of self-realization, which he calls individuation. And that is a process where one have a dialogue with each other's unconscious, and they become familiar with their hidden aspects of themselves, and they become a full, they understand themselves better, another lack of a better word. So you eventually have a happier, fulfillful life. So my art is where I practice, where I have my unconscious come out, and I sort of like, when I'm working in my work, I'm not aware of what I'm doing. It's sort of like Jackson Pollock said, you know, when I'm in my painting, I'm not aware of what I'm doing. I sort of feel the same way. I'm sort of under the spell, like most art. You're unconscious. I mean, you're in the moment, but you're not really in the moment. You're not really conscious of what you're doing. So after a while, when I'm done with my work, and when I look at it, step back a few days later, then I start to see what I was doing. And I treat it as a separate entity. I believe that each of them have a mind of their own or a life of their own. So I try to understand about myself through my work. So I think whatever happens to them, it happens to them. If someone loves and buy it, that would be the ultimate prize, because it feels like, you know, now they have a life of their own, and that's how it meant to be. But if it doesn't, that's what was meant to be at the same time. So that's the process right now, and I realize that it changes over time. So if I have similar works, if I have two works at about the same time, they sort of look similar, and so that's like me changing at the same time. My work sort of like is a footprint of what I'm going through. It's like they're like snapshots of my life. They're very much about me. I know it's kind of like selfish to say, but it's very much about me. But at the same time, it's very excessive. Sometimes I don't mind when people are talking when I'm doing my work, because I actually want to be a little bit distracted so that I can be more unconscious. I don't want, like, if I have some images that are coming out of me and I'm like, oh, I don't want to draw that. I don't want to feel that way. If it's coming out, let it appear. So sometimes I have the TV on, sometimes I work when my students are working at the same time. So that's the current artistic practice, and I try to have it all the time. It's sort of like a release for me, and there's excessiveness in my work, and there's always a lot of movement, and I think that's, and I love contrast. You know, there's a contrast of smooth, wash, and I layer them. I layer them with sometimes salt. I layer them with, you know, I always try to have a variety of pencil marks. Sometimes I use my left hand. I use different types of pen. But I like the contrast of the wash, the softness of the wash, and the really jagged lines. And I think that's very much me. I have a lot of contrasting characteristics. I mean, you know, I'm Asian and American at the same time, so I guess that's one thing. So, but it is very me. I think it's very honest portrayal of who I am.